we're still chilling and relaxing here. No rush. We can go through like the later parts of the AFC East while you finish your lunch. So the Patriots, unfortunately, new coach. This is going to be their first year without Bill Belichick.
Bye bye, Bill.
They got rid of Mac Jones.
Mac Jones is gone.
So they got a new quarterback. They drafted a quarterback. Like they pretty much got rid of everybody, and they're starting over. They don't have a lot of wins on the season. They literally only get one win against the Colts in Week 13, and that was a fluke by the Colts. And they probably would have had all L's the number one pick for next year. I think they're going to tank. Like, I think that's going to be their goal going into this year is to tank the season for number one pick. So there you have it for them.
The most loses ends up could possibly be the best winner next year.
Could possibly be the best winner next year.
All right. So we're going to talk about the Jets. All right. 7 Jets placed in the top 10 at their respective positions. Number 1, cornerback Sauce Gardner. Number 1 cornerback in the league right now. 92.1 coverage grade, allowing only 0.53 yards per coverage snap over the last 2 years, which leaves him ranked first overall in cornerbacks in the league. We also got Quinnen Williams, interior lineman with 5.5 sacks and 52 tackles. I'm sorry, 5.5 sacks. Then linebacker C.J. Mosley with 52 tackles and 5 of which for a loss. 152 tackles, 5 of which were for a loss. We've got Breece Hall as our running back. He's the number 7 running back in the league. Number 8 quarterback in the league with Aaron Rodgers. You guys can't forget, this man's a 4-time MVP, even after coming back from an ACL tear that ended his season in 2023 before it even started. His resume alone demands a top ranking in the quarterbacks. I don't think he's over the hill yet. Lots of action expected from Rodgers this year. All or nothing. It's his last season with the Jets, so hopefully he can pull off something amazing for us. We've been waiting quite some time for something like this. Most predictions about Rodgers are bold, and mine aren't any different. I expect the best play of his career. Nothing everyone wants to retire on top. Super Bowl win with the Jets would prove that he's still in top tier form, even as the oldest player in the NFL, because Brady gone. The top is where he sits, and that's where he wants to stay. That's where he's going to want to retire. I don't see him playing another year for any team, let alone, for us again. But let's see what this season holds for us. So, week 1, Jets at San Francisco. We're going to start off with an L in the season. It's going to feel horrible. It's going to look bad. We're gonna cry about it later in the season because it's one of the only losses that we're going to be suffering. They go in to play the Titans in week 2. We're going to win that game. It's going to be relatively, more fluid. The game's going to, it's going to evolve more a little bit, so we're going to be playing a little better, a little less pressure on us, not playing such a hard defense. So Rodgers will be able to come up with a W there. Then the Patriots come into town on a Monday night, and we're gonna whoop them up, man. The poor Patriots they're gonna be starting from scratch. So it's not looking good for them. Broncos at Jets. That's another W for the Jets. We keep on our little winning streak for now. That's 3 in a row. And then we head into Minnesota to play the Vikings. Vikings are going to give us a run for our money, but we're still going to come up with the W because Jets win. This is the one I don't like talking about. Buffalo at the Jets. Supposedly a loss. I hope it doesn't pan out that way. I want to kind of stay on top of Buffalo as far as Josh Allen and them. Our defense is strong. I foresee 2 picks, one by Sauce, one by C.J. Mosley. I don't agree with what we're saying, but it's an L for the Jets there. Jets at Steelers the next week. What is that? Week 6? No, 7. Week 7. Jets at Steelers. Sorry, babe. You're gonna lose that one. She's a Steelers fan, so we're gonna probably have a little sit down for that one and talk about it afterward because it's gonna be a severe beating. Don't put me in handcuffs. Then we go to play the Patriots again at their house in East Rutherford, and we're going to take the W there. Texans at Jets. It's going to be a hard-fought game. C.J. Stroud's going to come in hot. They're going to score, and we're going to have to fight our way back into that game. We're going to with a come from behind win in the last couple of minutes of the game with an Aaron Rodgers 2-minute drill, glory days kind of shit right there. After that, was that week 10, Jets at Arizona, coming up with another win. Kyler Murray still can't get it together over there.
No, he can't.
Never could. Then the Colts at the Jets. Looks like they're handing us our last loss of the season, right before our bye week. So we're gonna go into that game, I guess, tired and sore. Then went out partying the night before, something like that. Come back out and lose the game. Coach's going to be mad. Bye week comes. We all rested, relaxed, took our ayahuasca with fucking Rodgers. And then we come out for Seahawks at Jets at home. Jets are going to take the W. Seattle's Geno Smith is going to wish he never left.
And I wish he was still at home.
We'll see what happens there. Jets at Miami. This is a what the win. This is the one where we come down here to Miami, play them in the heat. He's not happy about it. He's all might. You see the hat coming off. He doesn't want to be seen on the same stream as talking about a Miami loss to the Jets. But here we are. That'll be week 14. Everybody get your tickets for that one because that's going to be fun to watch. Then they move on to Jacksonville on their way home with another win against Trevor Lawrence. Then it's Rams at Jets for week 16 with another win there. And then the Jets go on to Buffalo for their last trip to Buffalo for the season. They're going to be upset they lost the first one. Probably pretty pissed off. They're going to come in there and they're going to show Josh Allen just who the New York Jets are this season and pull off a W. And the last game of the season, Miami at the Jets up in East Rutherford, New Jersey, week 18. It's going to be a hard-fought game. That's going to be the decider for who wins this division as far as the AFC East is concerned. Miami and the Jets are going to be the teams to look at and watch. I see the Jets pulling off a W and sweeping Miami for the season, but I'm sure there's going to be other people that have different views on that. So we'll see how that goes. All my predictions in, that puts the Jets at 14-3 on the season, and fingers crossed, hopefully in the lead.
Yeah. Based on that, that would mean that no matter what, the Chiefs would need to play Week 18.
They would have to play hard.
They would have to play Week 18 to beat the Broncos to go to 14-3. Because if you guys are at 14-3, then you guys would be.
That would be the fight for the AFC.
You guys would be at 13-3
seed
going into Week 18 as well.
Yeah, seed 1.
That would be fighting for number 1 seed. Hard to grasp that, right? To think last year, it could have been like that last year too. Crazy.
Fingers crossed.
Crazy.
Knock on wood.
Crazy.
All that superstitious stuff you can do. Let's go ahead and do that.
And then the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are going to take a little bit of a step back this year. They got rid of Stephon Diggs. They got rid of Gabe Davis. They lost Jordan Poyer. They've lost a lot on their defense. They don't have Devin Singletary. They do have James Cook still back there, going to be able to run the ball for them. But I think they're going to struggle a lot in the beginning of the season, getting the new receivers accustomed to Josh Allen. He's going to make some mistakes early in the season. They're not going to be in sync. He's going to have some interceptions. So Buffalo is going to start off the season having back-to-back losses. They're going to have one at home against Arizona, then they're going to go on the road and play a Thursday night game in Miami, and Miami lost to them last time on Thursday night and not going to let it happen again. So they're going to come up with a W against Buffalo. And then they are going to go home. They're sad. They're upset that they lost to Miami, and they're going to be mad. Josh Allen is going to play a good game against Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is going to get the W there. Then they got to travel to Baltimore and play them, and then travel to Texas and play C.J. Stroud. So Lamar Jackson's going to win. C.J. Stroud's going to win. The Buffalo Bills just aren't going to be there yet as far as scoring goes. The defense is going to be good, don't get me wrong. Like, it's going to be a fun game to watch, but Baltimore and Texans are going to be a lot more hungry than the Buffalo Bills right now. And then they travel to New Jersey, where they play the Jets. And this is where, like, everybody starts clicking. And this is where everything starts going good for Josh Allen and Keon Coleman, and they start, like, vibing. They get a win against the Jets, and then they travel home and they get a win against the Titans. Then somehow Geno Smith and Tyler Lockett and company at home in Seattle give them a loss. And then they travel home and Miami comes in and they beat up on Miami for the second game because they're not going to let Miami sweep them. That's just not, they're not. Ken Dorsey's over there like, you are not going to let Miami come in our home and beat us again. Not going to happen. So they're going to get the win over Miami. Then they travel to Indianapolis. They get the win over the Colts. Then Buffalo. They go back home and they play the Chiefs, where the Chiefs come in and they get Patrick Mahomes. Now, don't get me wrong. Buffalo has beaten the Chiefs in the regular season the past 3 seasons straight. So this will be the first time that they actually lose to the Chiefs in the regular season. It's just because Mahomes and company are going to be they're on a mission. Then they get a
mission from God.
They're on a bye week, and then they get to stay home for their bye week. And they come off their bye week, they're still at home. They just lost to the Chiefs. They're like bummed out, but they get to stay home and they get to practice and prepare for San Francisco, and they get to win there. And then they go to the Rams and they get the win there. They go to Detroit, they get the win there. Like Josh Allen and Keon Coleman at this point, they look like superstars. They're so in sync. They're so connected. They're just like getting touchdowns, getting yardage. Dawson Knox is out there. James Cook is running the ball. Like, the Buffalo Bills look like the Buffalo Bills that everybody is used to seeing over the last couple of years. So then they go back home, and the Pats come into town, and they whoop up on them. They're gonna whoop up on the Pats like the Dolphins whooped up on the Broncos last year. Like, that's just gonna happen. And then the Jets come into their town, and the Jets say, no, buddy, not this time.
You beat us once.
Not this time. And they're gonna give them a loss. And then the Buffalo Bills are gonna go and whoop up on the Pats again. It's not gonna be a big number like it was the first time they played 2 weeks ago, but they're still gonna win, and they're gonna end their season at 10-7. And maybe make the wild card. Maybe make the wild card.
Maybe. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen either.
Anyway, so let's break their season down. So they're going to start in Miami against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence and company are going to come into town. We're going to give them a loss. We're going to stay in Miami for a Thursday night game against Buffalo. They're going to come in and they're going to get a loss. And then we're going to travel across the country to Seattle and Washington, and we're going to play Geno Smith. And Tua, whether he got his money or not, he's got something to prove, because if he got his money, he's playing for his contract. If he didn't get his money, he's playing for his next contract. So no matter what, it's good for the Dolphins, and he's going to produce because he's got the people around him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited to say that per Adam Schefter, the news just came in that the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa have come to an agreement on a contract. It is going to be a 4-year extension for $212.4 million with 167 million guaranteed. That's going to make him about 53-ish million a year. I am so glad that the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa come to an agreement, and he's gonna be our franchise quarterback. Anybody else out there in Dolphin Nation excited for this? Go ahead, hit that like and hit that subscribe. Show that love down in the comments. Let's see how excited you are. If you're as excited as I am, fins up, baby.
Jay, Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, who we just drafted, and I saved the best for last. Yes, Tyreek Hill. Don't forget Devon A-Chain, Raheem Mostert, all these guys. Like, he's got the weapons to perform and have an MVP season, whether he gets paid or whether he doesn't get paid. So then he comes back home. He plays the Titans on a Monday night game. It's another Monday night game. Remember, last year, Monday night, Titans came into Miami and they beat us on a fluke. They came back and set a record against us, basically beat us within the last 11 seconds or some it was stupid. I don't even want to go back and relive it. We're not going to let it happen again. Mike McDaniel is not going to let it happen again. Tua, Tyreek, all and company, they're not going to let it happen again. They're not going to come in on another Monday night and whip up on us. So that's going to be a W. And then we go to the Patriots and we get a W. And then we have an early bye week. I was not a fan of this early bye week, but whatever. Here it is. We have a bye week, and then we go to Indianapolis. We play the Colts. We win there. We go to back home for Kyler Murray and company to come, and we win there. So they start the season great. They're looking really great right now. They have a 7-0 start, and then they travel to Buffalo. And Buffalo's got their shit together by this point, and like they're like, yo, you beat us the first time, but you're not beating us this time, and they whip up on the Dolphins. Then they travel to LA for the Rams. They win there. They go back home for 2 games. They play the Raiders and the Patriots. They win both of those. Easy games, like
Worst teams in the league.
easy games. And then they go to Green Bay. And it's going to be cold. And it's not going to be fun from Christmas. But last time that Tua played Green Bay, he had 35 points in the first half, and then he suffered a concussion and came out, and Aaron Rodgers just took off from there. I don't think that he's going to get injured this time. He's going to be healthy. He's going to be playing the full game, and it's going to be another high-scoring game, and Miami's going to come out with a win there. And then they come and they host the Jets. Are you kidding me? They host the Jets and they suffer a fucking loss to Aaron Rodgers.
What are you gonna do?
Unfortunately. And then they go to play the Texans and they get another fucking loss.
2 losses in a row.
2 losses in a row for the Miami Dolphins at this point, but they get their stuff together. They're like, hey man, we're gonna not be in the playoffs if we keep it up. So they travel to San Francisco for a revenge game. Mike McDaniel versus Kyle Shanahan, protege versus teacher, and I think they lost the first time. Brock Purdy led, like that's when Brock Purdy came out. It was Jimmy Garoppolo, and then Jimmy Garoppolo got injured, and Brock Purdy came out, and they were winning all the way up until Brock Purdy came out.
Started lighting up the football field.
Anyways, Mike McDaniel is going to be definitely way more prepared for his second matchup against his old teacher. So he's going to have some tricks up his sleeve, and he's going to get the W there. And then they're going to travel to Cleveland for a cold weather game late in the season. And Tyreek Hill, obviously, he's going to convince the team to go sleeveless again. Like, hey, let's go out there half naked and let's win this game.
Let's be cold.
They're going to have the right mentality this time in this cold weather game, and they are going to win. They're going to win in Cleveland. But then they're going to go on the road to the Jets for another cold weather game, and it's going to be too much. And they're going to lose that one. Ending their season at 13-4, making the playoffs, but not having the division.
It'll be a close one, though.
It'll be a close one, though. It will be a close one. 13-4.
And that'll wrap up the AFC East with the Jets at the top with 14-3, Miami just right below them with 13-4, Buffalo sitting at 10-7, and the New England not so patriotic Patriots at 1-16.
And that wraps up the AFC in general.
Yeah, wraps up all of the AFC, doesn't it?
That wraps up all of the AFC. So,
Don't agree with it? That's too bad.
Like and subscribe anyways.
Like and subscribe anyways. Don't agree with it? That's too bad.
Like and subscribe anyways.
Like and subscribe anyways.